Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And guess what? Guess what? It's time. Time for the EFF Everything for Free hat. Have I got a beauty for you? This is an absolute beauty. This all took place in Parliament over the last week. And it starts off with a little speech by one of the EFF members. And as the Commander-in-Chief of the EFF, I am so disappointed in her elocution. Clearly, she didn't write the speech. She can't say some of the words in it. It's so funny. But regardless, it's the EFF, so everything for free. And following the speech, which you will hear now, you will hear the response.
Thank you very much, not so consistent Deputy Speaker. Now that the Joshua Doe has left, a revolutionary is on the podium. President and Commander-in-Chief of the EFF, the officials, commissars and fighters, all 9 provinces, I greet you. Let me start by attending to Mr. Karrim, an old OPA, a beneficiary of today's ANC male-dominated speaking list. You must be told to your face that you must never undermine women and their agency. Nothing is more demeaning, insulting, and misogynistic than a man who, because they can't win an argument against a woman, they start saying her views are not her own. She is being used by men. You must stop doing that. This is what your textbook and mediocre reading of Marx and Lenin has not afforded you, to respect women, young black women in particular. Fighter Naledi can take you on, Chief. She can take you on anywhere, anytime. You must go and ask your father there in Nkandla, Babagadu Duzan. But let me not waste my breath. Your generation is probably lost forever on the significance of feminist ideology. Let me now talk to the issue of land, which you abandoned because the ANC position of expropriation of land was rejected and even rubbished by spurious communists like you. You lost that debate in the ANC conference, just like you lost your seat in the National Assembly. And you are in the NCOP, and I'm going to deal with you. Mr. President, we listened, and we did not hear you talk about land clearly. We were right to say you were bluffing, and you did not mean anything you said about the land issue. Land, like mineral resources, should be in the custody of the state, and the state must give permission and rights to use the land for a specific purpose. The 5th Parliament has done its work. We went all over the country and listened to our people. They were very clear. They want the land, and they want it now. Hompieno is saying. The idea that you can redistribute land by giving our people title deeds you were handing over before the elections will not resolve the crisis of landlessness. Title deed for what, by the way? Our people in township, spaceless, with no sanitation, no water, no electricity. If you say you want to give them title deeds are for what exactly? Our people do not have place to worship. Our kids do not have playground, but play in dump sites. Our youth do not have recreational and sport facilities because of landlessness. Today, batsadi ba rona ba fitlhiwa mo mabitleng ba tlhatlhaganela mabitla. O kry-a bo Ramaphosa le bo Zuma le bo Mokgosi ba tlhatlhaganela mabitla. Gore di ancestors tsa rona di tlhaganela mabitla le magodu. Ga re kgone go kry-a signal to our ancestors. Mothers, fathers, grandfathers, and grandmothers cannot feed their families, with more than 15 million South Africans unable to afford to feed their families because of landlessness. These title deeds our people get are used to fake collateral to get our people to borrow money they can't afford to repay, and the little pieces of land will end up back in the hands of white-owned banks. If anything, this is a deliberate decision to ridicule black people and land struggles. Mr. President, you ridicule black people and their landlessness, yet you tell them to dream about bullet trains and new cities. On which land? That is why we are saying by the end of 2019, the 6th Parliament should finalize the land question, and all the land must be in the custody of the state. The 6th Parliament must pass the necessary legislation, and the economic freedom fighters will table Land Redistribution Act and Agrarian Reform Act. We must ensure that the legislation to redistribute land clearly states that a minimum of 50% of the land must be controlled by women and youth in particular. We must abolish foreign ownership. The 6th Parliament must all draft these laws in such a way that we establish legal structures to manage and distribute land to all those need it for productive and residential purposes. Now, because you are suffering from a poverty of ideas, should it happen that you run out of that, come to the EFF. We must ensure that people's right to the land are protected and not subjected to abuse by state officials and mining companies like what Mr. Gwede Mantashe and his Australian company are doing to the people of Kolobane. To do this properly, we must develop a system to land rights registration to ensure that communal and customary land rights are recordable and afforded the same protection as other forms of rights. We do not say this to render traditional leaders in our communities useless and irrelevant. Our traditional leaders still have a role to play in our communities, including the process to allocate land to all people, in particular women and the youth. I'm repeating this for the second time. If we are serious about giving our people rights to land, we must equally resource land courts to speed up resolutions of all land-related disputes. We cannot allow a situation where one acting judge is appointed to hear all land-related matters without necessary support or resources. We must set up the ad hoc committee to start working on the modalities of amendment of Section 25 of the Constitution. Mr. President, if you are going to change and disown your party conference resolution, that is your problem. Don't tag us and don't say we did not warn you. As the economic freedom fighters have made a commitment to our people, we are the generation that has discovered its mission and we intend to fulfill it. We will do so because we know victory is certain and our people will have the land. Amandla, I want to say to my sister, Comrade Zinzi Mandela, that we are behind you. The struggle continues. Thank you.
Honorable Tarabella Machesi.
First thing I have to do is get rid of this quality EFF flea-ridden hat. Okay, now we got that out of the way. Here is a response from the gentleman that the Honorable Koni was referring to. And it's an Indian fellow by the name of Yunus Karrim. And does he have a field day? It's going to be an exciting few years in Parliament, I think. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for updates and have a great evening. Bye for now.
Fifth, we will win the elections, they kept saying. When we take over in 2019, when elections, we will do this and we will do that. Well, what happened? The EFF dreams about an all-powerful Father Christmas state that will deliver everything and anything to everybody overnight. And let me tell you, it's not simple Mao suits of the 1960s they want for all. It's Louis Vuitton red overalls. Nationalize, they say. Nationalize and hey presto, everything gets solved. Now, this is idealism of the worst sort. The EFF claims to be Marxist. Where is the historical materialism? No assessment of the historical juncture, of the readiness of the working class and its allies for socialism. And where exactly is the EFF socialist struggle working class base? Where's the trade union movement? Where's the workers? Where in the world? When did Lenin and Marx say it is the youth that will be the revolutionary motive force for socialism? Not Lenin, not Marx, and not the other great hero. The great Franz Fanon never said that. And this populism is closely linked to its militaristic posture. There is no armed struggle. We are a democracy. They're in parliament. Why do they have as the head a commander-in-chief? Where's the internal democracy? Who is he commanding? Towards what end? No clarity, right? He thinks members. He was too young to be in the armed struggle, rightly. I have no doubt he would have taken part. But he thinks that if you fire a rifle in the air at the EFF rally, that makes you a soldier. Now, and the EFF, let me tell you, is all tactics and no strategy. No, no, no. The EFF is tactical. Everything is tactical. So they swing from one extreme to the other. Identity crisis. So one day they're opposing the public protector. Next day they're supporting the public protector. We don't know what's going on. One day they're opposing state corruption or state capture, as we call it. Next day defending the perpetrators of that corruption.